Hello and welcome to this review of a new compact microphone from Rode. It's called the Video Micro. There are in fact two versions of this where the microphone is exactly the same but the application is slightly different. There's this one, the Video Micro, which comes with a cold shoe attachment, so it's designed to attach to small camcorders or small cameras. There is also a version called the Video Me. The microphone is the same, but it's designed to plug straight into mobile phones. Now, I'm using the Video Micro to record this. I've got it mounted on a Sony AXP33 camcorder, and I have got it precisely 74 centimeters or 29 inches in front of me. That is closer than I would normally have the camera and microphone, but that's because I see this product definitely as being aimed at the vlogger market, where you would hold a microphone out on a camera just in front of you or on a selfie stick or something, but pretty close, and that's why I've got the camera and microphone so close to me. Now, the microphone, as I say, is exactly the same regardless of whether you buy the Video Micro version or the Video Me version. And you might be wondering, hold on a minute, why have Rode brought this out? They've already got a very well-known microphone for on-camera use. Obviously the Video Mic Pro here, it's a bit of a legend, it's been around for a while, it's very popular. Well, I think essentially Rode have recognised that more and more people are vlogging either on their smartphones or on really small cameras, and whilst the Rode Video Mic Pro is indeed a compact shotgun, when you put it on top of a camcorder sometimes or on a phone, it's massive. So clearly there is a need, or Rode think there is a need, for a much smaller microphone to be used in those vloggy type situations, and that's why they've launched it. Now, let me show you what you actually get in the box for your money, and the money, by the way, is not a lot. This is a low-cost microphone, but let's show you what you get. Inside, you get a bit of plastic packaging, and if I just take that aside, as you can see, you do get a wind jammer, nice big wind jammer, which is very useful, just plops on the end. You can possibly see these little ribbed rubber bits here, which actually catch onto the microphone and means that it holds it rather securely. Also means you have to give it quite a good tug if you actually want to get the wind jammer off, but never mind. And then in this side, here's the microphone itself, which, as you can see, is a very short shotgun type microphone. You've got a 3.5mm connector there, which is how you connect it to your camcorder. And then there's the front of the microphone, and it's got the traditional little shotgun grill bit there, which gives it its off-axis rejection. Anyway, that is the microphone. It comes with this Rycote lyre suspension, which means that you can wiggle it, waggle it, it's virtually unbreakable, and it also isolates the microphone from any handling noise. Now, you can see if I bring the microphone back in, there's a slight recess here, which is designed for this to snap into, and if I just do that, push it along, it snaps in there, and that is it then, well held. And then this other tiny recess here is for the ends of the wind jammer to slot into. Now, that will eventually go on there. It pushes on very easily, but then you have to actually pull it a bit further to get it properly right into those grooves. And then once they've caught, it won't come off. And the whole thing is suddenly much bigger than the compact microphone you thought you had, but you definitely will need to use the wind jammer if you are filming outdoors. It also does come with, thankfully, a cable, if I can get into it. Just a straightforward cable. Don't be fooled though, this is not stereo, it's dual mono. The microphone is a mono mic, but it's a stereo cable so that it's compatible with the stereo inputs on most camcorders and cameras. That goes in there, that goes into your camera. Now, your camera will need to provide plug-in power in order for this to work. Some Canon cameras, as I recall, don't provide plug-in power, so you will need to check, because this is not battery operated. It requires power to be sent up the mic jack to the microphone from the camera. Not phantom power, which is 48 volts, but this plug-in power, which is about 2 to 3 volts, which you tend to get out of consumer level gear. The only other things you get in here are this quick start guide, which frankly you don't really need. You just plug everything in and go. And then there's just a bit of silica gel to mop up moisture. This would be a fairly typical vlogger type use. I think I've got the Video Micro mounted on top of the camcorder. It's being held out nearly at arm's length. I've decided to put myself by a, well, reasonably busy road just so you can hear how much of my voice is captured and how much the background sound of the cars comes through. I will also go and do a piece to camera in a more quiet location as well. Well, now I'm in a much quieter location. There is a very distant roar of some traffic quite a long way away, but basically quite a quiet location again, just holding the camera out arm's length as one would do for a vlog. There's a little bit of a breeze here, so we'll discover how well that windshield is doing on top of the microphone. Well, now, of course, it wouldn't be a fair test or indeed a comparison at all if I didn't also do at least one take using the camcorder's built-in microphones. I'm filming this on the Sony AXP33. The built-in mics are on the top, as they are on so many modern camcorders. I've set the levels manually, and I'm holding the camcorder out at the same distance as it was before, but this is purely going in through those built-in microphones. This is a test of how well the Rode wind jammer that's included with the Video Micro can cope in a really stiff breeze, and believe me, there really is quite a stiff breeze blowing at the moment. But can you hear my voice over it? That's the question. This is an off-axis rejection test. I'm currently standing directly in front of the microphone, which is at arm's length from me. I shall now move round to the side, so I shall be at 90 degrees to the microphone, and we'll hear how that sounds. I'm now standing at 90 degrees to the microphone off to the left side. Hopefully the microphone is starting to reject some of the sound, although I am still only an arm's length away, so I'm sure it will pick up some amount of the sound. I shall now go round to behind the microphone. I'm now standing directly behind the microphone, so hopefully some of this sound is very much being attenuated and it's not picking me up at all. And then once more, just for comparison, standing again directly in front of the microphone so that you can compare it with the standing directly behind that you just heard. So, some conclusions then on the Rode Video Micro. Well, first of all, and perhaps somewhat paradoxically, I'm going to start by saying how surprised I was at how good the onboard microphones on my Sony camcorder were. I thought they did a really good job. Now, that said, if you listen very closely to the sound, perhaps listen back with headphones or something, you can definitely hear that on the onboard mics, they are picking up much more sound from all around. So when I did the piece to camera, there was bird song coming from the trees as well as me speaking. When the brass band were playing, you could hear much more of the crowd around me making noises when using the onboard mics. Now, in some circumstances, that might be what you want, but for the most part, you usually want sound just from what you're pointing the camera at, and that, even on the Sony with its good mics, is where the Video Micro comes into its own, because it does have quite a good directional capability and will simply pick up the sound in front of you. Plus, of course, it comes with the wind jammer to reduce any wind noise, which your onboard microphones almost certainly doesn't have, and I don't count any electronic jiggery-pokery to get rid of wind, because that never works. So that's a camcorder with good mics, but what about if you've bought the Video Micro to go along with your stills camera? Well, I can almost certainly guarantee it will give you a dramatic improvement in sound. Those little tiny pinhole mics you get on the top of stills cameras are pretty dreadful. They pick up all the sound around you, and if you can plug in the Rode Video Micro, you will get a marked improvement in your sound, that's for sure. And of course it does, as I've said, come with that wind jammer to reduce the wind noise. Now don't expect miracles. If you go outside in a hurricane, it is still going to get blown around. But even something like this, which is a hugely expensive Rycote softy wind jammer, these don't work in a real hurricane either. For that you have to step up to a whole different level of solutions. But for a mild breeze, it is going to improve your video quality immensely. And it never fails to amaze me how many video bloggers happily record stuff outside without a wind jammer, and the wind just all over the sound. It's dreadful. If you buy the Video Micro, that issue should pretty much be solved unless the wind is really blowing. And then finally, if you're buying the version of the Video Micro that goes onto your mobile phone, the Video Me, again, you should definitely get a marked improvement in sound. Not just from the quality of the mic, the fact that it's directional, the fact that it comes with the wind jammer. Yes, it will bulk out your mobile phone to a certain degree, but if you are serious at all about doing any sort of videography, it will improve your sound. And I reckon that for the price, you really cannot go wrong with buying one of these, even if you don't always go out with it and always use it. It's definitely one I would say that's worth having in your arsenal. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this review was useful to you. If it was, give it a click on the old like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please do put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.